Good evening, folks. Gary here from Journey Before Destination Overlanding. It's been a few days since I've been on. As you can see, I've kind of changed my location from downstairs to upstairs. I'm working out of the apartment right now just because Apollo here is still acting like a dimwit because Athena, my female German Shepherd, is not quite done with being in heat yet. So, that being said, it's been pretty busy the last few days. I've kind of not made any videos because I've been busy with work and using my Jeep to actually do work for one of our companies. So it's been I'm a little bit behind here. So let me catch up a little bit. I've spent a lot of time researching trailers, specifically small overland two-drop type trailers, and I've decided that while I'm going to keep this model as it is, the height from here to here and the inside is 6 foot in this model. I think it's too high. All the ones that I have seen and I have investigated range from 4 to 5 feet in total height. So what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to build another one just like this. Same general design and so forth. I'm going to keep this frame because I like this frame. It's sturdy, it's strong. I'm going to have it drawn up in CAD here in the next couple of days. And as you can see, this just sits right on it, as I've shown you before. But what I'm going to do is cut this down to about 4 feet 10 inches. That seems to be the general height that most people think is reasonably high. I'm going to drop the piece of wood here, gotta grab it. Yeah. So, with that being said, instead of tearing this all apart, I have enough wood here to basically construct another one of these. So I'm going to measure this out. I'm going to take it off of here, set this aside. I'm going to measure this out and do the comparison and make this the equivalent of 4 feet 10 inches instead of 6 feet. Then, all of a sudden, it will be roughly the same height as my Jeep. I'm going to keep this one because I plan on trying to put these together and actually sell them. And some people, if they have a bigger truck, a Suburban, if they have something that the wind doesn't bother as much, something that's got a higher elevation, that would be up in this height when it's actually up against the back of the truck, and it wouldn't bother them. They can have one that's 6 foot high, so they can stand up in it. That was what I was looking for at first, was to actually physically be able to stand up in this thing and walk around. I don't need to know that that's necessary based on what I'm doing. So, Apollo, sit down. Good boy. So, considering that, I'm going to take it to 4 foot 10, build the model that way. This one, like I said, will be printed out in the next few days, and I'm actually going to build this. Probably 2 weeks from now is when I'll really start building this. I've got some cleanup to do around the shop. I've got some work to do at my main account to get caught up on that and get ready for spring. I've got some equipment I've got to work on, so it's kind of putting this off for a few days. Guess I'm going to focus at all this and say, however much I would love to have this done in a month, or time for Overland Expo West, or for the Moore visit, it's not going to happen. There's too many things going on. So this I could probably have ready for that, but I can't have this part done. So in your comments below, let me know what you think about cutting this down to 4 foot 10 in height to the inside. I took a measurement, and 4 foot 10 is perfectly fine for me to sit and still have headroom above my head. And if I have to stand up, yeah, I've got to bend over. I've got to do this because it's a foot shorter than I am. But you're not supposed to live in this thing. I want it comfortable to sit in if it's rainy and cold outside. I want it comfortable to be in if it's in bad conditions, or you have to be inside for some reason. The bugs are really bad, whatever. But I don't want. You're not supposed to live in this. That's why the slide out is here, so you can slide the sink and the fridge out, and that's why we're going to have cooking on the inside and outside. I'm going to have a shelf across here so that you can cook, and fridge and all that kind of stuff will be there. But unlike almost any other trailer I've seen, when this is pulled in and this door is closed against this, you're still going to have full access to both the sink and the fridge. That way, if you're stuck inside and it rains cats and dogs for a couple of days, or God forbid it starts snowing outside, and it's just not comfortable to be outside, you'll still be able to get to all of your stuff in here. And I'm going to set it up so there's enough room to put a porta potty in here, not a porta potty, but a cassette toilet in here, and essentially you'll have full access to water, food. Your electronics will have access to it. You'll have access to a bathroom. So if you have really bad weather and you're out in the middle of nowhere, you don't have to go outside if it's really nasty. It's cold out at night. You don't want to get up and go out and go to the bathroom in a little setup outside. You want to just use your porta potty in there. As long as you're by yourself or your significant other, you can do that. I may put some way to drape it off so that you're not staring at each other when you go to the bathroom. But other than that, this is going to be set up so that it can be used from either inside or outside, and that way you can use it in all weather conditions. Winter, summer, spring, doesn't matter. You can get in and out of it. It'll be low enough profile that if you put a rooftop tent, it's not going to be towering above, a Jeep or a Taco or any of those types of vehicles. You'll actually be low enough that you'll still be able to get some aerodynamics, although the Jeep is like a brick in the wind. Actually, I think a brick gets better wind resistance than the Jeep does. But regardless, it will allow you to pull it and be down. And if you put a rooftop tent on it, you don't have to have a step ladder to open and close it. You'll be able to pretty much reach it from the ground. It may be 5 feet up, but a 6 foot tall person can reach 5 foot with no problem above their head. You're good. So, anyway, that's the basic game plan that I've got right now. I'm going to start doing this tonight. I'm going to start doing some measurements. I'm going to leave this about the same length. Actually, I'll probably run this longer and take it up to here and leave this at the same angle. So I'm going to make this a little bit longer and this a little bit longer. I'm not going to have these shelves in it, and these cabinets that'll be a customized thing later on. I was going to put shelves in here and cabinets in here, but I think that's going to have to be customized based on the people, what the people like. I'm going to build the basic shell, the basic base, that's just tough as nails and be able to deal with anything. It's going to be aluminum on the bottom. All this is going to be welded aluminum, and then it's going to be Line-X. The whole thing's going to be Line-X up to and above the wheel wells. I can't decide what I'm doing on top. I'm either going to use fiberglass or I'm going to use sandwich fiberboard that is waterproof with aluminum over it. I haven't decided which way to go yet. I thought about Line-Xing the whole thing, but it's too heavy. Line-X would weigh 500 pounds on this thing to Line-X this entire thing. And Line-X Line-X is strong as far as cutting and shear strength, but it's not very strong as far as compression strength. So using the insulation backed with Line-X, I've got to have something in there that creates compression strength. It's just like concrete. Concrete has incredible compression strength, but it has very bad shear strength. That's why I put rebar in it. Well, insulation has, just like this foam board, which is what I'm going to use as a sample inside, has pretty good compression or pretty good shear strength. You can't rip it, but it has very bad compression strength. If you hit it with a knuckle, it'll leave a dent. So when I use the 2-inch thick foam insulation, it's the same thing. You hit it hard with the Line-X being flexible, and you'll dent it and break it back in the back side. Now, if you take the 2-inch thick foam and you put 4 mils of fiberglass on both sides, it becomes incredibly tough. So I've got to figure out the weight of fiberglass and decide whether I want to fiberglass this from about the middle to the top and all the way over so that it's sealed all the way from here down the middle, then Line-X up to that and overlap the Line-X, or the fiberglass with Line-X, which Line-X will stick to it, and that will create a completely sealed cabin. The base will be completely sealed, and the cabin will be completely sealed. I'll run the doors in. A door's going to go in here, 2 windows, and then everything else will be run through sealed, grommeted entrances in here. Anything that's coming in will be completely sealed up. Essentially, you'll be able to drop this thing in a lake and it'll float. It won't sink. That's the game plan for it. I don't want it to float if you're only in 3 feet of water. It's got to be up about 4 feet. But if you're more than 4 feet of water, if this floats, you've got more problems than just this, because this will float down and you can grab it later on unless it goes over a waterfall. Your Jeep or your car or your truck, if you're in more than 4 feet of water, is going to be in trouble unless you pull this behind a Unimog or something. In which case, why would you need this? You can build your camper on top of the Unimog. So anyway, that's about it for this. I haven't decided yet. I'm probably going to film the building of this part in not slow motion, but in time lapse, because otherwise it'll be a 3-hour video, and that's not something that you guys are going to want to see. Another thing, I found it interesting. I've been watching the news, which I'm sure all of you have, and I've been thinking about building this overland rig, and obviously having my Jeep set up for overlanding. And I'm also a member of quite a few what they call prepper groups. And I'm not truly a hardcore prepper. I don't have years worth of crap stashed away, but I do have basically a bug out bag where I could get to my home if I needed to. I've got lots of batteries. We have lots of stuff. I'm obtaining solar equipment so that we can have a solar generator at the house. I'm doing things that are in general what you need in order to survive for a short period of time, i.e. 3, 4, 5 weeks if the power's out or something of that nature. If you wind up with something worse than 3, 4, 5 weeks, I thought was interesting. Something like this with the Jeep. If you come up with a good fuel supply and you need to get out of town, let's just say riots, who knows, any reason you got to get out of town, the Russians bomb us, something like that, dirty bombs. If you got to get out of town for an extended period of time, having something like this that can go off the grid, and when I say off grid, I mean completely off grid, loaded up with food. You have your own water filtration in it. You've got your own solar in it. You can create power. You've got 2-way radio. You've got AM, FM. I'm going to set mine up eventually with a Starlink system so I can get internet. Starlink is going to be actually relatively inexpensive. In the long run, it'll be great. I can use it at the house and put it on this when I go away. Aim it at the sky. I have gigaspeed internet. I can also stream through it, watch TV, watch the news, whatever. But in the unlikely case, and I say unlikely because I don't really believe that something bad is going to happen right away, but you still need to think about it. Having an off-grid trailer like this, with the solar, like I said, which creates enough power, with water filtration, which is a big thing that most people don't think about. Everybody says, oh, I'm going to carry 50 gallons of water. Great, this is going to have 50 gallons of water in it. But 50 gallons of water, if you have a family of 3, isn't going to last you very long. It's going to last you a week or so. You've got to be able to filter your own water. So putting a water filtration system in and a pump to run that is not that difficult. It's not that expensive. And once it's in there, you're good. Now, I was thinking about, well, okay, how about gas for the furnace, gas for cooking? Yeah, I'm going to have gas in this. I'm going to have propane on it. I will probably have a propane stove option, but I think I'm going to go with induction. Induction cooking, I've watched several different overlanders and YouTubers that are using induction cooking now. With the right amount of batteries, the right amount of solar, you have to balance all this, and the right system, like a good red arc system in here, all of a sudden, you can run induction. Now, leave the dog alone, Apollo. Sorry, there's a dog on TV, and my aggressive little puppy here decided he was going to bark at the dog on TV. But anyway, you can run induction heating. You can run, not heating, cooking. You can also cook over a fire, which is easy. This is, you can carry enough weight, you can put cast iron in here, all that kind of fun stuff. So you can cook either way. You can cook over a fire or you can cook with induction. And the other thing is you can run your refrigerator indefinitely with solar batteries. It doesn't take that much battery. I mean, I run mine over the summer. I have a 100-watt solar charger on the hood of my Jeep. I put my big 75-quart fridge freezer. It's got half freezer, half fridge, or both fridge, whatever. I put that thing in there, and I'm only running it off of one Optima yellow top battery, and it never dies. That 100-watt solar panel charges it up just fine during the day, so it goes all the way up to its 14.5 volts, whatever it is, and it never runs it out. I can let it sit there for days. I can leave it sit outside for a week in the fridge running continuously, and it never runs battery down. That 100-watt solar panel creates enough energy or enough charge to charge that and keep it up. So it wouldn't require tons of batteries. And you could get off grid in one of these things and survive in it. You put a couple of canopies around it and your awnings all the way around it, so you've got 180 degree from here all the way around the back and all the way around there. Put a rooftop tent on it so it opens up back here with the vestibule. A family of 4, even a family of 6 could live in this with no problem out in the middle of the woods. Hi, buddy. You say hi? Say hi. Yeah, you don't know what I'm talking about, do you? Kisses. Yes, good boy. This is Apollo, everybody. Apollo, that's everybody. Anyway, I know you don't have a clue what I'm talking about. Play with your bone, lay down. But you can take this behind your vehicle, run, say, 8 5-gallon jerry cans in it, put a up in front where the tire's going to be up here, put another one of those 20-gallon or 30-gallon things that go between your tire and the tanks that go in between your tire and your Jeep on the rack. Put one of those on the Jeep. All of a sudden, you're carrying 4 or 5 complete fill-ups worth of fuel in a Jeep, but you can go a long way with that. Even if you're only getting, like I'm getting, 12, 13 miles to the gallon, 14 miles to the gallon. When you're pulling this thing, I imagine it's going to be 12. You could go a long, long way on the fuel you could carry in this and that. And you could get out in the middle of no place. And this has all been brought up in tension a lot more because we're looking at huge amounts of inflation going on. We're looking at a very good possibility of food shortages. Not that America can't get food. You don't need to be alarmist because we're still going to be able to get food. It's going to get more expensive, you bet. But we're still going to be able to get food. But if you had to get out of town, let's say you live in Florida or you live in the Gulf Coast states and a hurricane comes, and it's a Category 4 hurricane, you can pack yourself up in this thing, have your go bags, which is your important papers, your passports, your driver's license, your titles, your birth certificates, your bank information, that kind of stuff, insurance, whatever. Have all that in a bag. All you do is throw it in here, load your family up in whatever vehicle you pull it with, and you can take off and go north, get out of the way of the hurricane, and you can live in this. You can go, everybody's like, oh man, I'm going to go to a hotel, I'm going to do this. It costs a lot of money to do that. Even if your homeowner's insurance covers it, it takes a while to get your money back. It's not like they give you money right away. This, you go to the nearest national park, north and west or wherever from you that's out of the way of the issues, and you get all your information, go to a campground where you have full hookups. You live in the thing, just like a full-size camper. And then when the disaster's over with, you could go back home, and if the roof's ripped off your house, you got to rebuild it. You can make do in this at your house. You don't need power to it. It'd be nice to have power to it, but you don't need it. You could deal with having, you could deal with your own water. You could deal with all those situations. So I look at this as a multi-use piece of equipment. Now people say, oh my gosh, they're so expensive. when you get one of these things, yeah, this is probably going to be expensive. I'm thinking this is going to be 60,000 plus for one of these things when it's fully decked out, or most of the way decked out. But that's actually pretty cheap in comparison to most of the other ones. A lot of them start at 30, 40, and then you start adding on. They get up to 60, 70, 80,000 real fast. Almost every one that comes from Australia, which that's not made in the USA, that's made in Australia, then shipped over here. They all start in the 80s and go up. And you see all these guys that are all wound up about, oh, I've got this great one or I've got that great one, and it's all imported from Australia. Yeah, you know what? The Australians know what they're doing building them, but Americans know what they're doing building this kind of stuff too. The one I'm going to build is going to be every bit as tough, every bit as advanced, and probably $20,000 less. And because it has a toilet in it, because I'm going to set it up that way, it could be financed like a motorhome instead of just like a regular trailer. So you can finance them over 20 years if you want. So I see this as a multi-use piece of equipment. It's great for going overlanding. You go off for 2 weeks, you can live out of it. You can drag this thing through the woods. It's going to be armored. You can bash it off of trees, whatever. It's not going to hurt it. Will it scratch it? Of course it will. Get pinstriped? Yeah. But it's not going to destroy it. Go through a river, your Jeep or your Toyota or your Taco or your whatever you happen to have is going to float away before this does. You're going to have all kinds of problems. So, I'm guessing that my point with all this, I'm rambling on, but my point with all this is that you can use this for camping, you can use it for overlanding, if you're a rock crawler, you can drag this thing up the rocks. If you like going on forest roads, you can take it there. If you like going to KOAs, you can take it there. You can take it any place, live out of it, be off the grid, be independent of the grid, which is a choice you can make anytime. Go to a national park in the middle of no place, go to Alaska for 2 or 3 weeks, and you don't have to stop anywhere. Drop your hose in the water, fill up your water tank. It's all filtered. You have a second carbon filter before it comes out to the tap that you drink out of. You're drinking pure natural glacier water that's been filtered from viruses, amoebas, all that stuff. Protozoas will all be filtered out. You'll have good solid water. You'll be able to use a bathroom. I mean, if you fill up your cassette, you got to go dig a hole, dump it, rinse it out, put it back in there. You can take showers. You can do all of that. Hot water, electricity through solar, even up there. You got enough to keep this thing going with solar for several weeks. If you're careful with your battery power, and you don't run an air conditioner or something, which I'm going to put enough. One of the options is going to have enough battery and enough solar power to run an air conditioner. You can run it indefinitely up there. So that's the goal with building these, and I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to build them and sell them. And honestly, I'd like to finance my going around the country. I have pretty lofty goals. I want to get a Class Super C that can pull 40,000 pounds and put my trailer like this and my Jeep in the trailer behind it. And I want to go all over the place and use that as a base camp and go into I want to go to the Pacific Northwest. I really want to go to Vancouver, British Columbia. I want to go travel with the guys from Story Till Now. I'm planning on doing more stuff with Ozark Overland Adventures with Matt. I plan to do a lot of this stuff. I really want to go meet these people. I want to travel with them. I want to see their areas. They have beautiful areas. Cripe, if you watch the Story Till Now and KC 250, it's unbelievable how beautiful it is up there. Some rough stuff, but it's absolutely gorgeous. I really want to go there. I want to go to Alaska. I want to do all those things. I want to meet the guys from Epic Family Road Trip, Overland X. I'd like to meet all these people and just sit down around a campfire and talk with them and learn from their experiences and hopefully impart some knowledge from my experiences. So that's my goal with these. To build it, to use it myself, to sell some of them, to make some money. Eventually I'll be able to buy this stuff on my own. I make enough money that I can save up and buy it on my own. It's going to take me 4 or 5 years to be in that position if I want to do it all on my own without doing this. But I might be able to do it faster if I do this, if I get these sold. We'll see. Anyway, all right, I'm going to stop burning your ears off now, and I'm going to start working on the second one of these. I'm going to do some measurements on here, and then I'm going to put this in. I'm going to put the camera in slow motion mode, or so you guys can see, or time lapse mode, so you guys can see what I'm doing without having a 2-hour video. So I will talk to you in a little bit. But don't knock everything off on the floor. Okay, folks. As you can see, even when this is in time lapse, uh, it's a very long, drawn-out process. So I don't think I'm going to bore you with hours of building this model. I've got the back structure set up here, up to here. I've got to build the front and then get the top on, and then all the structural stuff goes in. But this is going to take me hours. It's 8:30. It's probably going to be 10:30, 11 o'clock before I get it done. So I'm going to put this little video together with my preamble and my rambling on about, this could be more than just for overlanding. This could actually be a bug out and a get out of the area free card. You can. I really think that's a good way to go with these. Any overland trailer will do it, but if you specifically set it up for that, if you put the little bit of extra stuff into it, it can actually become a lifesaver in a bad situation. Even if, let's say, you go up to Alaska and you're planning on being there for 2 weeks, and you break down in the middle of nowhere, and it takes them a week to get to you or something crazy like that, you can survive in this. You can get your critical infrastructure is there. Water is there. You can live for 2 weeks without food, as I sure can. So can, I'm going to guess, most people at this point in time. If you're really skinny, you can't. You've got food with you for a while. You can ration it. And if you're any good at hunting, you can hunt. There's all kinds of things you can do. But you can live in this off-grid, in the middle of the wilderness, waiting for somebody to come rescue you for almost an indefinite period of time, as long as you can supply food, because you can filter water for an indefinite amount of time. You can boil it, you can get fires, you can carry everything you need to survive in here. Electricity, you can carry a Spot or a Garmin search and rescue device with you. No matter what you do, you're good at this. You're safe from the elements, you're safe from all kinds of stuff. So, my thought is that I'm going to advertise this obviously as an overland trailer for camping and stuff. But I like the idea of people getting multiple uses out of something. When you're spending the kind of money you're going to spend on this, you can buy a house for this price in Detroit and in surrounding areas, for God's sake. Not by much, but you could get houses still in the 60, 70, $80,000 range. Now, people are paying that for cars regularly. You get a Suburban, it's $70,000 and up, and all that kind of stuff. So this, while it may seem like it's an excessive amount of money, what you put into it and what you try and get out of it may make it more than just that. It could be more than just a recreation device. It can be a setup for just about everybody. So anyway, that's it for tonight, folks. Please don't forget to subscribe, click that thumbs up, like it, and share it with as many people as possible. I'm really trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by sometime in July or August. I'm at a grand old 28 right now. So the more you guys share it, and the more people the more you like it, the more more people that watch it, the easier it is for me to get up there. I want to show this off to the world. I don't necessarily, if I sell it, fine. If I don't, that's fine too. But I want to show it off to the world, and I'd like to see people to see it. So again, this is Gary, Journey Before Destination Overland. Apollo, as you can see in my badges I put on the side of my Jeep. That's Apollo. Athena I'll have here, and hopefully in the next 4 or 5 days I'll be moving home. I'll be in my office again. I'll have more space to do this. I'll be able to put that up in a better spot, get better lighting, all that kind of fun stuff. And I'm going to start producing a lot more of these. I'm going to spend a little bit of time every night on it until I'm done with it. I'm going to use this 3/16 foam board as the actual liner to it. I'm going to build this the way my intent to have it finished. And then I'm going to have it drawn up in AutoCAD. And like I said, I'm going to start on this base part real soon. I'm actually going to start putting the aluminum together and welding it. I've got a couple people who know how to weld aluminum very well. They can MIG and TIG it. So we're going to get the base done. We're going to get the suspension on it. We're going to get the hitch on it. And then as soon as I have this designed and put out, we're going to get the aluminum for this and build the frame. And then we're going to start wiring and putting everything in. Then we're going to insulate it. Then we're going to make our decision if we're going to fiberglass it or what we're going to do with it. I will make that decision before I get to that point, but I have to weigh a lot of options. I have to figure out how much this is going to weigh when it's done. I need to figure out how much the top is going to weigh separately when it's done. I need to decide how much it's going to weigh with water in it, and then whether aluminum is the way to go, a thin skin of aluminum over top of a 16th inch plywood, over top of the insulation. I've got to make these decisions, and I really want to make it so that it's never ever going to be an issue with rotting or anything like that, ever. I don't want this to ever have to, you never have to rot it. You can hand it down through generations and it'll still be good. Change tires, grease the bearings. Maybe in the timberings, I'm going to go with timber axles. You might have to replace the rubber on the timberings. Other than that, you should never have to deal with it. So anyway, like, subscribe, share, and I've got a Patreon up there. I know most of you guys are not Patreon people, and I'm not. It'd be great if somebody went on it. I'm going to put some extra videos. It's $3 a month. I don't really make any money off of it. Would I like to? Sure, but I'm not. But you can see that it is in the upper right-hand corner when you actually look at my page. I have no subscribers on Patreon. If I don't for a while, it is what it is. But anyway, have a nice night, and I will talk to you again tomorrow.